So I'm here working on this Whirlpool ice maker here, and I've got this laser diode attached to this tripod, and I'm going to use it to locate a spot where I can drill a hole to clear the ice maker. It freezes over sometimes and I have to heat a wire and punch it in there and clear the waterway. And so to do that, I have to take 4 screws out and pull a panel away. And what I want to do in the future is just have a hole where I can put a little plug in there, pull the plug out, put the wire in there, clear it, and bring it back out without having to do all that work, all that removing the 4 screws. I have to keep and then pull the ice bin out and all that kind of stuff. I want to try and make it really very quick and easy because the whole time I'm working on it, I have to keep the freezer open. And so I built this contraption right there. It's basically a laser diode and a power supply. I've got 3 AA batteries in here. This is the laser diode, and it's on this little brass metal tab, and I can adjust it up and down, and I can even bend the metal tab here. And it's got a switch right here that when I can flip the switch on and point the laser right at the hole, and you'll see what I'm getting at when I start doing this. But I've got this adjustable laser. I can establish a track of where I need to run the wire up, and then when I put the bin in there, I can see where the hole needs to be, that when I remove the metal there, or the plastic or whatever's there, I can have the wire go right up into the waterway. So I'll get started on that right now. I'm going to open this refrigerator door and get the ice tray out of there, and show you what I'm doing. The first thing I'm going to do is remove the ice, set it aside. There's 4 screws here back in this panel, and it takes a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. And you have to remove all 4 of these screws. To get to the waterway, or where the water is dispensed into the ice tray. And it's really too bad they didn't make some provision for that, because it seems to happen fairly often. And it's kind of annoying. So I got the 4 screws out. I can pull this whole thing out of here. There's a little connector. There's just a 2-wire connector for the on-off switch. And it's right here. You just push in that little tab there and pull it out. So I'll get that out of the way. And so what I'm going to do now, right here is the waterway, right up in there. I'm also considering doing something else, like maybe putting some foil over this, maybe to shield it. But I've got this laser diode. I'm going to try to adjust that. That needs to be right in there. I want it looking right in that hole. Then I can put the bin in there and kind of evaluate what I need to do, where the hole needs to be to access that. And so I hate leaving the freezer door open while I'm doing all this, but I'm hoping in the end I can get this resolved and have a quick way to fix it in the future. It happens just enough to where it's, kind of annoying, and it shouldn't happen at all, actually. So what I want to do, my goal is to get that laser pointed right in that hole. It's a little hard to do because of everything's so touchy. But that's got it right there. That you have to be careful not to disturb anything. Problem is my tripod is kind of cheap. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now I can set this back into place and see where I might have to drill a hole to make that happen. And I'm going to mark that. I'll mark that spot. And I'll give you the dimensions of it so you don't have to go through all this if you want to do something like that. Marked it with a Sharpie. And I'm going to pull it away and make sure the laser's still lined up at the door in the same spot there. And it is. It's lined up right into the waterway. And what I'm going to do is, you can see there's my my dot. I can make some dimensions of that. And the laser's done its job. I can take that away. And I'll bring the camera in and maybe you can see, you can get a look at what's going on. Maybe if I turn a light on. No, I'm going to go get a light so you can see that better. So hopefully you can see in there. There's a spot in there where the water comes out. And that's where I stick a wire. And I've got a little wire that I just keep handy right on top of the refrigerator here. It's just a green wire, solid conductor. I think this is like a 14 gauge. And I just heat this up with a heat gun, or you could use a candle or whatever. I don't know if I'd use a candle because it might put soot on it. You get that wire hot and you just run it right up in there. And usually I can see it's up in there now. But when it doesn't, you can just gently push on it and all of a sudden a jet of water will shoot out of it because it's under pressure. And then it's usually okay for a while. Well, another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some aluminum foil over this and maybe try to shield it from the cold, and maybe that'll help. I've got this aluminum foil. I'm going to try and put it right over this spot here, and I'm going to roll it a little bit to give it some insulation value theoretically, so it'll be have some layers trapped in it. And I'm going to turn it, just kind of doing this on the fly, just to see if it'll help. I'm going to put that right there. And the water will come out of this right here. We'll see down, and if that drops down in there, it won't be any big deal, but I don't think it will. Now I'm going to bolt all this back together, and like I said, I've got a dimension here, a dot where I could drill in, and I can get a cap. I'm going to get the cap first before I drill the hole, but I drill a pretty large hole and have a plug that goes in there. But for now, I'm going to just put this back. There's this connector here, 2-pin connector. I just need to snap that back for the on-off switch. Kind of a ridiculous. You get pretty good at doing this though, if you own one of these refrigerators. So I've got my aluminum foils in there. I got a feeling that's going to work. Not going to hurt. And I'll just zip in the 4 screws. And I'm not going to drill this hole until the next time this ice maker freezes over. And because I'm trying this aluminum foil insulator around the water. I'll see what that does. It might work the other way. It might make it freeze over right off, but I kind of doubt it. Because the air is coming in right into there and going right into the bottom. And I think it needs to be protected a little bit. So now I'll just put the, make sure the on and off switch is on. Put the ice bin in there and close it up. And we'll see what happens. Okay, so there's the hole, the center of the hole that where I could go in there with a wire. And from this edge, it's about 5 centimeters from this edge. And it is about 2.5 centimeters from the top. And if I do a hole here, it's going to be a large hole. It's going to be probably maybe a 3 or 4 centimeter hole. So I want to have a large cap that I pop out of there so I can put a flashlight in there and see what I'm doing, and also run my green hot heated wire right up in there. But I'm hoping I won't have to do that. I'm hoping that the aluminum foil I put in there will do the trick.